Hello and welcome to Yin Yoga. Today we're going to do some wide angles, some straddles, and some crescent stretching to the neck and the shoulder as well. And it will take us into a supine, butterfly, chest opener, heart opener pose. So let's come to our mat or on our floor somewhere and sit comfortably. I do have a pillow today. You might have blocks. I'm going to use a pillow later. So grab something that is comfortable for you to lay on towards the end. For now, we're going to just cross our legs in a comfortable cross-legged position and put the hands on our knees. Sit nice and tall on the sit bones and center ourselves by going into the inner layers and taking 3 nice deep breaths together in a nice kind of yin, deep, soft way. So we can close our eyes and you can breathe through the nose, you can breathe through the mouth, wherever you feel like you get the most comfortable breath. Inhaling for 3, 4, 5 counts and exhaling for the same amount. And inhaling and exhaling. And one more inhale. And exhale. And coming back to normal breathing and maybe tapping back into that ujjayi breaths as we go along, whenever it feels like a comfortable time to do it. I'm going to start by taking the left ear over towards the left shoulder, letting the shoulders be heavy, and just a nice seated neck stretch. We'll stay here for about 10 breaths. And this might be plenty. You might take your left hand and just kind of gently give it a little extra support, a little extra weight for a deeper stretch in towards the neck. So it should be within a comfort zone of a level 3 to 4 within a range of 0 to 10. So just kind of go and see and feel where that is for you. And letting that nice breath come and go evenly through all parts. And just being, just sitting, and knowing just by sitting here, stretching our neck, everything is okay. We'll take another 3 breaths here. And from here, take your left hand on the left side of your head and help yourself to upright with your head, and then release the hands and shoulders away from the ears, and then gently come over to the second side with your right ear towards your right shoulder, and finding a good spot where it feels like a comfortable place to be for about 10 breaths today for this neck stretch. letting it go in towards the deeper layers, the fascia, the tendons, connective tissues, and creating more space for the breath, more space for blood flow in towards the neck and the throat, and of course in towards the whole side of the shoulder and the neck. You might take your right hand and give it a little extra weight if that feels like a good idea. We'll be as passive as we can with our hand. Letting the breath come and go. Enjoying just sitting, just being still. We'll take another 3 breaths here. Releasing tension in the neck, releasing tension in the shoulder. And then gently open the eyes if you had them closed, and take your right hand on the right side of the neck and come to upright. And from here, you might just kind of switch your legs. We'll have another version of seated shoulder opening. And this time we'll take it a little bit more in towards the upper back. So let's take the left arm forward and cross the midline and hook your right arm underneath. So we can stay right here and get a nice stretch in towards the shoulder. You might take your eagle arms. Will be a different variant if that feels good. And you might just fold forward. You might take your pillow, you might take a block and fold forward. We stay here for 10 breaths. And gently from here, make your way up and switch your arms to the right arm in the center, and the left arm comes and hooks, and go to a nice comfortable place where you can just kind of passively sit with your arm hooked around your right arm and getting a good stretch in towards the right shoulder. And maybe this is where you stay. Some of you are going to come into your eagle arms and will come and fold forward from here and relax, and let that upper back round and the shoulders passively stretch to the side. We'll stay 10 breaths here. And slowly make your way back up and undo the arms. Maybe take a nice big inhale with your arms up to the sky, palms together, and then exhale, take it straight down through the center line. And from here we'll come and straddle the legs out to the side, just like a comfortable straddle. Nothing straining, nothing pushing, no ego. Coming deeper into the layers than we really necessarily have to go in Yin Yoga. You just want to come to a nice level 3 to 4 in our muscles, and then from there we want to just leave it there so we don't overstretch the muscle, but let it, the stretch or the stress onto the ligaments and joints go in to the deeper layers and leave the muscles out. So go and find your version of your straddle, and then we're going to come forward and fold right into the middle. We can relax the toes. Maybe you have your hands on the floor to support you, because maybe this is your angle. Maybe this is where your hips and your lower back tells you to stop. Maybe you have a block for your forearms. Maybe you make a pillow out of your hands. So wherever it feels comfortable. I like to come to my forearms, and you can elongate your neck and have a nice long neck, or you could simply just let your neck relax and get a nice curve on the spine that we're later going to turn the opposite direction. So see what works for you. Be as passive as you can. You can turn your palms up and just hang out if you have your forearms on the floor or on the block. Relax your toes. Relax all the muscles, and let the wisdom of just being in this position go into the deeper layers and find the connective tissue and the fascia and untie knots. We have about 20 breaths here. We'll take another 3 breaths here. And gently support yourself as you come back upright, with maybe a little freer space into the back and into the back of the legs. Let's bring the legs all the way back together for butterfly pose, feet together, knees out to the side for a brief moment, just to find the midline. So the feet are right by the pubic bone, belly button line, that kind of the whole center line. Take your left leg back out into straddle and make your right foot comfortable. You might put something underneath your knee, like a pillow or a cushion. And then from here, we're going to take our left hand to the floor and take your right arm up and over. So you might be here with your hand supporting you. You might take your arm on your leg, or you might take your forearm to the floor. And take the right arm up and over and just letting it relax over your right ear and be super passive all the way from the shoulders out the arm and coming into a side crescent in our side angle seat. We have 10 breaths here before we switch the mode of the arm. And your gaze can come down, your gaze can be up. It should be a nice feeling in the right side of the waist, clearing and freeing up space. And making some nice new healthy space for muscles to reside into our connective tissue and fascia. You might feel this in your lumbar, on your right side, maybe around the iliac crest. Maybe you feel it more between your ribs, maybe by your shoulder. We'll take another 3 breaths here. And then from here, take your right arm and send it over towards the right side. And come into a little deeper neck stretch with your left shoulder more down towards your left ear and your right arm down towards the right side with your wrist slightly lower than your shoulder. Coming into a little bit different neck stretch, shoulder stretch on the right side. Turning your nose in a direction so it feels really good and supported, and that it's kind of getting somewhere in towards the neck. And then we'll find that place and keep it as still as we can and just hold the pose for 10 breaths. Moving stagnation and bringing health and vitality to any of the tight areas. Another 3 breaths here. And taking our right hand on the side of the neck and helping the whole body upright so we don't pull with the neck, and then support yourself in the back with the hands and switch to the second side. Take your right leg out to a comfortable place and your left foot in, and find your right hand wherever it is for you on the side, and then the left arm comes up and over, and the arm is just totally passive. The elbow it might be up here, wherever you have your flexibility in your shoulder. Find a passive place for your left arm to be relaxed up above the head, to get in towards the whole crescent side of the body. And palm might be down, you might have your right arm on your leg, you might bring in your blocks, or you might take your forearm to the floor. Having your sit bones on your mat or on your pillow, relaxing your toes, relaxing the muscles, going and finding a comfortable place where it feels nice and easeful to be. To go in and untie knots on the whole left side of the waist. We have 10 breaths here. Go and find a nice still place for you. Another 3 breaths here. And from here, take your left arm over towards your left side and sink your wrist slightly lower than your shoulder. And your right ear can drop a little bit deeper down to your right neck, to your the right ear towards your right shoulder for more different feeling into your left neck area. You might turn your nose down, you might turn it up. Going to find a place where you can be holding the pose for another 10 breaths. Untying knots in the whole left hip and up towards the neck and the shoulder. Being as passive as we can. Take the breath to any of the tight areas. Three more breaths here. And gently take your right hand towards your right side of the neck and help yourself to upright seat. And release the hands down. And from here, going to come and sit with our legs forward. And fold forward from here. So we're going to come into caterpillar. I'm going to take my blanket that I have and just kind of roll it into a little bolster right between my knees down towards the ankles. And I'm going to take my hands to the floor. I might take my forearms on the floor and take my head towards the bolster. So you might have something that works for you, or maybe you'll have your hands on the floor and just simply relax and release in towards the spine. Folding forward, feet are hip widths apart. Letting the spine be heavy, letting the seat be heavy. Find a good place where you can be still. And just letting the pose do its work for us. It goes and seeps into the deeper layers and rearranges for us to feel better, to bring more health and vitality into the deeper layers. Making sure we relax our toes and the muscles of the legs. Enjoying just sitting, folding forward, expanding the layers from the seat through the whole back body, opening up the back of the lungs, back of the heart. We'll take another 3 breaths here. And gently press your hands down and help yourself to an upright seat. You can take a blanket to the side, and I'm going to bring in the pillow for our second to last pose, reclining butterfly. And I'm going to put the pillow on the long way and bring my feet together. And you might prop smaller pillows under your knees if needed, but bring the feet together for butterfly pose. And then we're just going to chug that pillow in towards the sacrum and lay down into reclining butterfly, where we get to get back into a hip opening, and also with that, like a nice gentle back bend with our arms out to the side, where we get to open the heart and the lung meridians from the center all the way out the shoulders, out the arms. So there might be a slight tilt on your neck and on your head. The throat opens, and we just get to kind of clear the breath. And we have 20 breaths right here. Kind of checking in with the toes, that they are relaxed, and all the muscles of the legs. Find a good, comfortable spot to be. There'll be all kinds of energies moving around up and down the legs on all sides. So of course we want to make sure that we prop our legs up if we need more support. And then the whole front of the body should feel nice and elevated and lifted in a nice gentle way, and a smile from shoulder to shoulder out the arms. Letting the fingers be curled, and it should be like a little maybe tingling in towards the palms, where the breath in the palms kind of moves in and out, like a nice extension from the lungs. Throat should be open and free and clear. And we have about 10 more breaths here. Gently open your eyes. If they were closed, then bring your knees together and come over to one side and take the pillow away to the side. And then we're gonna come and lay down onto our backs, flat on the back, and come into an upward facing child's pose. Wrap your elbows around your knees and your feet can come together. And I like to take either the fingers and hook together, or taking my hand around my wrist and finding a good place to be where my lower back gets a good, like a nice little traction, and the femurs gets to plug in, and we just kind of hug the midline and get to release out at the same time, because we're kind of hugged into a little ball, but at the same time we get to be all passive and release tension from hips, knees, ankles. Shoulders are nice and open, and the shoulder blades are down onto the back. If you needed a pillow for your neck to be more easy accessible for comfort and also for easy flowing breath, then put a pillow underneath your head. And then we just get to enjoy being here, plugging the femurs in and releasing lower back tension. Checking in to all layers, that they are as passive as possible. You can get that benefit of the little extra stress on towards the joints and ligaments by just laying here supine, plugging femurs in with a little slight pressure from the arms. We'll take another 3 breaths. And slowly open your eyes, release the legs, take your feet on each side of the yoga mat, arms out to the side, and give yourself a couple of windshield wipers, side to side to side. Just getting a little movement in towards the hips. Get some blood flow into the hips after kind of compressing them. And then from here, we're going to take Savasana together. The legs out to the side, arms out to the side, press the head down, adjust the shoulder blades, and enjoy just laying here, letting all the poses kind of melt in to where it needs to go in our layers. We'll take 10 breaths in Savasana, letting the toes relax all the way up through all the layers to the fingers, to the jaw. Full relaxation to all parts. And gently move your toes and your fingers. Deepen your breath, stretch your arms over your head. Bend your knees in and come over to one side to make your way back up into a comfortable cross-legged seat where we started. And taking our hands together in front of the heart. Centering ourselves back into our midline. And we'll take another 3 breaths together. We might even breathe all the way down into the heart of earth and into the heart of source, and finding our string of light where we feel connected and at ease and grounded. So we'll take 3 nice deep breaths together. And with our next inhale, we'll fill up the lungs, and exhale with an Om together. Take a nice big inhale. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you feel as centered and relaxed and at ease as I am doing right now. Send it all the way out to you. And I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.